On July 1st, 2026, the way Americans pay for medical school changes more than it has in 20 years. The program that quietly covered the gap between a federal loan and the real price of becoming a doctor, it's gone. And almost nobody outside of medicine is talking about it. I want to walk you through exactly what's changing, what it costs, and who it hits. Because if you or your kid or someone you love is thinking about medicine, this is the kind of thing that quietly reshapes a decision before anyone even names it out loud. Let's take it piece by piece. Here's the old system in one sentence. For about 20 years, a federal program called Grad PLUS let medical and other professional students borrow up to the full cost of attendance, tuition, fees, living expenses, all of it, straight from the government. Starting July 1st, 2026, that program ends for new borrowers. In its place, there's a hard ceiling. Professional students, that's medicine, dentistry, law, a short list of others, can borrow up to $50,000 a year from the federal government and no more than $200,000 total. There's also a lifetime cap of $257,500 across everything, undergrad included. So the headline is simple. The government used to lend you whatever medical school cost. Now it lends you up to $200,000 and then it stops. Now here's the problem with that ceiling, and it's just arithmetic. The average cost of attending medical school already runs past $200,000, and at private schools it's closer to $300,000, sometimes well beyond. The total cost to attend for a recent graduating class was around $229,000, and that figure doesn't even include room and board. So put the two numbers next to each other. The price tag is $300,000. The federal limit is $200,000. That gap, somewhere between $80,000 and $190,000, depending on the school, is money the government will no longer lend you. Somebody else has to. So who fills it? For most students, the answer is private loans. And private loans are a different animal. A federal student loan doesn't care about your credit score. It comes with income-driven repayment, with deferment options, with a path to forgiveness if you work in public service. A private loan cares very much about your credit score. It usually wants a co-signer with good credit. It often has fewer protections, less flexibility, and no public service forgiveness at all. And the cost compounds quietly. Carry a six-figure balance at private loan rates over 20 or 25 years, and you can pay back far more than you borrowed. A $100,000 loan can balloon well past $175,000 by the time it's settled. The new federal repayment plan that replaces the old options, called RAP, runs as long as 30 years for medical borrowers. 30 years. That's a mortgage on a house you never get to live in. Now, a lot of people hear loan changes and immediately ask about international students. So let me clear something up, because there's real confusion here, and there are actually two different groups people mean. The first group is international students studying at American medical schools. And here's the thing, this change doesn't directly touch them, because they were never eligible for U.S. federal loans in the first place. International students have always had to rely on their school's own scholarships, family money, or private loans, often with a U.S. citizen as cosigner. So for them, the headline isn't "you lost federal aid." It's quieter and worse. The private loan market they already depended on is about to get a flood of new American borrowers competing for the same lenders. When demand for private money jumps, terms rarely get friendlier. The second group is American citizens who go abroad for medical school, the Caribbean, Europe, elsewhere. They can sometimes use federal loans, but only if their foreign school is specifically approved by the U.S. Department of Education. And those students now hit the same new caps as everyone else. So the door that used to be propped open with federal money is narrowing for them too. But here's where I want to turn the whole thing, because the obvious takeaway is medicine just got more expensive. And that's true, but it's not the real story. The real story is who gets filtered out. A wealthy applicant doesn't feel this change at all. If your family can write the check or co-sign a private loan without blinking, the new caps are a footnote. The person who feels it, the person it actually decides, is the first-generation student. The kid from a family with no savings, no cosigner with pristine credit, no cushion. The exact person medicine says it wants more of. So this isn't really a story about a price going up. It's a story about a filter changing shape. For 20 years, federal money meant your talent decided whether you became a doctor. Starting this July, a little more of that decision quietly moves to your family's balance sheet. And the cruel part is that it arrives right as the country country is staring down a shortage of tens of thousands of physicians. We're making the door narrower at the exact moment we need more people walking through it. That's the twist nobody puts on the headline. The cap doesn't just cost money, it changes who's allowed to try. So here's what I'd want you to carry out of this, whether you're the student, the parent, or just someone trying to understand the world a little better. When the way we pay for something changes, the thing itself changes, even if no one announces it. A loan rule sounds like paperwork, but a loan rule decides who can afford a decade of training with no income. And that means a loan rule decides, in part, who your future doctor is going to be. If you're in this right now, the practical move is the same as it's always been when the ground shifts. Plan early, borrow federal, first up to the cap. Chase every scholarship and service-based program you can find, and read the fine print on any private loan like your future depends on it, because it does. And if you're a parent watching a determined kid run at this, know that the conversation about money just became part of the conversation about medicine earlier than it used to be. The system got tighter, that's real. But tight isn't closed. The people who make it through these moments are the ones who saw the change coming and planned around it instead of being surprised by it. Consider yourself no longer surprised. See you in the next case.